I saw fire, or I saw smoke at least in the air, and he works for the town of Paradise, so I texted him. I said, hey, it looks like there's a fire nearby.
Morning quickly turned to night.
And I talked to my mom and I said, you need to go now. Like, don't grab it, just go.
The campfire came down the mountain fast into the town of Paradise. A storm of embers blew and caught everything in its path.
You know, miles and miles of traffic.
It was chaos, everyone trying to evacuate at once. The Pepas were in the middle of it. They were able to get off the ridge, but they are one of thousands of families who lost their home.
Oh wait, no, my house isn't here. So yeah, it's a gut shot for sure.
And of course, I wasn't there physically, but I got a photo of it. When I got that photo was the first time that I cried. I hadn't even, I was just in survival mode,
The reality set in.
I don't have a home, it was just crazy.
This is what's left of their home.
When I got that photo was the first time that I, was able to just break down and be like, this really happened. It really happened.
And their entire family lost their homes too.
It was my mom, my dad, us, his brother, his sister, his dad's house, which had been his grandmother's home, his uncles. It was like every single place that you would go to for some measure of comfort or safety was gone.
They started to look for places to rent right away, down the ridge in Chico.
There was no place to go.
There was already a waiting list there.
There was already a waiting list.
Next day.
It was 50 and then 100 and hundreds of people on waiting lists for everywhere.
The only other option was to buy, and they had to do this fast. Homes were selling well over asking price. Chico was and still is a hot real estate market.
We only looked at 3 houses, and between those, my mom bought one and we bought another.
Crystal and Kevin now call Chico home. They're one of tens of thousands of families who left Paradise and have not returned.
We still believe there's somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 folks that are here from the Ridge, and we're happy that they're here.
Mark Orm is a city manager in Chico.
It's really a blur in most people's minds because it's flown by, and obviously through all that time, recovery still happens. And so I would say that preeminently, we're still in that recovery mode.
Recovery on the Ridge, but also in Chico, the city has changed. There's more traffic, 18% more, in fact. Less housing. Crime is a concern. The main hospital is way busier.
A lot of the impacts that folks are going to be primarily concerned with are cost of living.
One cost would come from the roads. All the heavy trucks and increase in traffic will wear down the roads faster, so the city needs to come up with money to replace them sooner than later.
But it's still strained. By all means, it's strained.
And housing developments are happening. A look from above shows construction on every corner, but it's a slow process and the demand is high. And the city is not eligible for grants like they used to be. For example, they couldn't get grant money to buy new bulletproof vests for their officers because the population of Chico is more than 100,000 now.
If not for the campfire, we wouldn't be at that population. So it's those little hits.
So what's the solution? The city is looking at drafting up a 1% sales tax voters would have to approve in the November 2020 election. If approved, it would bring in about $18 million to absorb costs directly related to the influx of people after the campfire.
It's hectic. It really is, because nobody can be prepared for the immensity of disaster like the campfire. No city is ready for that.
And no family is ready to lose everything and start over.
I don't know that I'll ever call Chico home. Just born and raised in Paradise, obviously there's some differences there, It is actually nice to come down the hill and get out of that.
Working for the town of Paradise, Kevin has seen his hometown at its worst and slowly starting to rebuild. But the scar of November 8th is very visible.
It's the entire community. It's like a mass, loss and grief. So I think that's going to be a chance for us to kind of share that too.
And they will look forward to what Chico has to offer. A new home for them, not far from where their true home once stood.
Things are just things, and you can rebuild and you can, move on. It's just a different, sort of life.